Good morning all and welcome to Rebler Gaming. First of all, thank you to all those who have liked and subscribed to my videos. If you like what I post and want to keep up to date, remember hit that subscribe button and the notifications bell and you'll be able to see what I post regularly. In the last couple of days we've had a subscriber ask a quick question on one of my videos. So shout outs to Mark. His question was what to take or avoid in a competitive tower list. Now, seeing as this is my first competitive tower list in 10th edition, I'm currently trying to build around the new detachment which recently came out. That detachment being the experimental prototype cadre, which for the detachment gives all ranged weapons equipped by the Tau Empire models a 6-inch range extender. Obviously that will work within some of the other extenders that are available. When you look at Pathfinders here, which are in my team, one of their items, which is the Pulse Accelerator drone, gives Pulse Carbine rifles an extra 6 inches. So this squad is running out of the 10 possible Pulse Carbines, it is running 7, with 3 running the rail rifle. But that being said, the Pulse Carbine is now a 36-inch range weapon, and the rail rifle 32-inch range weapon, and the rail rifle 36, because of, well, the two meshing together. Now, as we go through the list, you can see that we have a breacher team again. Pulse weapons equipped by Tau increased by 6, so 16 and 18 inch there. Support turret would go out to 36, and gun drones would go from 24 to 36. There's no gun drones linked with this. We have the shield drone and the marker drone. Obviously the marker drone is allowing for the unit to be an observer unit for another unit, even if it's advanced this turn, meaning that you get +1 to hit. Obviously ultimately bringing our ballistic skills down from 3s to 2s or 4s to 3s when guided by another unit. So we have 2 crisis suits. Again, the detachment allows for increases. So as you can see, the heavy rail rifle getting the +6 will become 66. The twin plasmas go to 24, and the smart missile system goes out to 36. Again, there's 2 of these guys. The missile pods as well would go out to 36. They have shield drones and a marker drone to enable them to give +1 if they advance to another unit. Cadre Fireblade obviously goes out at 36, meaning his rapid fire then changes from 15 inches to 18. He's attached to the breaches, obviously, to provide them with the +1 to their ranged characteristics. So obviously the units he's leading, range characteristics, if we go back into the breaches, which are just here, they go from 2 shots into 3, and with a 16-inch range, that is not bad. Commander Farsight has a bodyguard unit of 3 crisis suits. Obviously, again, his high-intensity plasma rifle goes to 30 inches, allowing for more threat range. Commander Shadow Sun, who is the warlord of the detachment and the army, again gets the +6, meaning that her weapons fall out to 24 inches range, or for her light missile pod out to 30. This army is designed to kind of shoot off the table opponents with its high amount of fire, extreme range, as you can see, with 66 inches on the broadsides. So anyone pokes a tank out and is visible, let's hope for those dev wounds, and let's roll 6s and be doing 14 or 17, 14 or 10 damage. It's 2 broadsides. You're looking at maximum best case scenario 24 damage, especially on 6s with dev wounds. And really just one-shotting vehicles off the table not a great deal of stuff has saves for dev wounds. There is some things that do, but that removes a Gladiator Lancer, a Repulse Executioner. That would even remove a Land Raider, and that's the whole point of it. Knights are in the vicinity of 18 to 26 wounds, so you got max damage and were lucky, you could bring a knight all the way down to 2 wounds and then finish it off with something else. Which is where we come to, we're looking at, we have 2 Cold Star Commanders and 1 Commander Enforcer. There is a total of 12 Crisis Suits in this army, in this detachment that I'm using. 6 of the Star Scythe and 6 of the Sunforged. Obviously, I will figure out exactly which way I want to go with who goes with Commander Farsight. From memory, they have the Burst Cannon and the Tower Flame, and the Sunforged have the Fusion Blasters. So I think the Fusion Blasters will be best with Farsight. And then the 2 Cold Star Commanders, Cyclic Iron Blasters with a Fusion Blaster, and obviously their ability to increase characteristics for movement. Obviously giving everyone 12 inches of movement and assault on weapons, which makes for a great thing. And the support system, obviously, they can ignore all modifiers to hit rolls. And then we go down, so we've got Star Scythe and Crisis Sunforged. Again, Burst Cannons and Tower Flamers, so out to 18 and to 24. The Sunforged, when we jump in there, again, pushing out to 18, giving them a good threat range there. And then we jump into our Ghost Keel. We are running one of these, and again, it's got the Cyclic Iron Raker, so we're looking at 42-inch range on its main weapon, which is 6 attacks, hitting on 4s, strength 7, AP 1, damage 2. With the ability of the Melter, obviously the Twin Fusion Blast now goes out to 18 inches, and Melter 2, obviously meaning that at half range you get an extra 2 shots. So seeing as there's 2 Fusion Blasters, we're at 4 shots at 9 inches rather than 6, we get to go up to 6 shots total. Big difference. If anything gets within 9 inches, well, obviously we lose our lone op, because that is the whole point of our lovely Ghost Keel. It is lone op, hard to shoot, you have to be within 9, but it can be guided, so we get our 4s down to 3s, strength 9, neg 4, d6 damage. Twin linked means we can re-roll our failed wound rolls, which makes a massive amount of difference, especially when we're looking at, at 9 inches or less, 6 shots, hitting on 3s when guided, and depending on what we're looking at, if we're shooting into, say, Terminators with their T5 toughness, we're looking for 3s again, because we're above double nearly almost double their strength, which would put us onto 2s, but 3s re-rolling all of our wound rolls. So all those 2s and 1s obviously can be attempted to be re-rolled into 3s to then, force the case of they have to make 6 invulnerable saves, and each one they fail is d6 damage, which is good, because then you can hopefully, get in, possibly do some serious damage with the Cyclic Iron Raker, even with its 6 shots at strength 7, you're still hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s, guided you're hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s, and again, 2 damage a pop, you can hopefully, get rid of 1 or 2 of those 4 wound Terminators, 3 wound terminators, 4 wound terminators if you run into Dark Angels with their Deathwing Knights. Obviously, shields give plus 1 wound. Again, they do have a invulnerable save of 4 up, but given the fact that the standard Cyclic Ironraker is only neg 1, pushing him onto 3s, means that those 2s and 1s are fails, and 6 shots, hopefully you get lucky and you land 2 or 3, and then you hit them with the twin fusion blaster to clean up the rest. D6 meaning minimum you're doing is 1 damage, maximum you're doing is 6, and if they fail to save all 6, then you're looking at possibly picking up an entire squad of Deathwing Knights quite quickly with 1 round of shooting. So we move on and we have Kroot Carnivores. Obviously we're running just Kroot, as they don't do much. They definitely have some interesting abilities with the Scouts and Stealth. The main reason we have them for here is the Fieldcraft ability. So if at the end of my command phase, if they are within range of an objective marker you control, then that objective marker remains under my control, even if I have no models near it, within range of it, and it stays there until obviously my opponent controls. So if I'm going first, my opponent doesn't get anywhere near it. End of T1, for example. So the start of T2, I would automatically be able to pick up primary for holding objective markers. Especially with that Scout 7 and Stealth, you can get out to, hopefully with the terrain layouts, hiding in the right spots and keeping them semi-alive. We only really need one or two of them there, as long as he's within range of that objective marker. Stand on the edge of it, gives you the ability to be within range of it. And therefore, we can pick up those vital early game primary objective points, which make a massive difference in 40k. Secondaries, always do what you can to score your secondaries, but your primary is where you can win or lose a game. So, if you're picking up almost max primary in turn 2 by going first, which hopefully is the way it is. Obviously, you just have to control an objective, and it doesn't require anything to be end of turn deciding. Then Kroot Carnivore provide a massive bonus. Not only that, they are very good at doing your secondaries, getting them out there. They've got 7-inch movement. Yes, they've got a terrible save. They're OC 2, so even 10 of them is worth 20 OC, which is strong. Again, they are part of the Tau army, so they get the +6. So we're looking at range 30 Kroot rifles, meaning that they are at 15-inch, they are in rapid fire range, meaning they get 2 shots. So not the best, not the worst, but good, cheap secondary scoring units, especially for 65 points when you've got 10 of them. Pathfinders, again, they have some interesting abilities. When we get down there, again, got Stealth 7. And again, the ability that they do have is target upload. So they can technically be the observer unit for 2, or the spotter unit for 2 units in a single turn. And you could help out by picking up 2 units and being able to do some serious damage to it, given that the spotted units get +1 to hit, meaning you come down from 4s to 3s. Obviously, we have the 3 rail rifles attached, 7 pulse carbines, with the other ability being down here, the pulse accelerator drone adds 6 range to pulse carbines. So we're looking at a 12-inch buff, meaning that our pulse carbines go from 20 to 32 inches. Obviously, pulse pistols go out to 18, rail rifles go to 36, and our grenade launcher goes out to 24, which is massively helpful because we have here the anti-vehicle 4+ and the dev wounds. So obviously on 4s we are hitting dev wounds. 1 shot, that's okay. Getting guided gives us a 3. So 3s into 4s hopefully can be done, especially, you know, when you're after that chip damage. Everyone wants chip damage, and you might have one vehicle on one wound, and this may be the kicker that actually gets rid of that vehicle for you. We will continue back to our main. So we've got the Piranha here. Again, Seeker missiles equipped with 2 pulse carbines go up to 26. We get 18 for the fusion blaster, and we get 54 for the Seeker missile. Again, Scouts 9, ability to get out and find and get out, find units, put marker lights on units, and anything that gets within 12 inches of us has to take a battle shock test. So very good for disrupting the enemy. Fail a battle shock, maybe their enemies within 12 and they're actually sitting on an objective, and they would then lose control of that objective because their OC goes to 0. And last but not least, we do have our stealth suits. We have 3x3. The commanders obviously equipped with the fusion blaster. They go out to 24 inches, and the burst cannons, out to 18. The burst cannons go to 24. These cheeky little buggers, when they act as a observer unit, this is why we have 3 of them. Here it is, forward observers. Each time this unit is an observer unit until end of phase. Each time a ranged attack is made by a model in their guided unit that targets their spotted unit, you get to re-roll your hit rolls of 1 and wound rolls of 1. Now, this will make massive, massive differences. For example, you get them close enough to a vehicle and you guide the broadsides with them. Any ones you roll, boom, all of a sudden you are looking at better shots, more damage, and the ability to really help out and improve the shooting of the army. So 3 of those, all doing what they can to really increase the attack bonus and the firepower of the army. So this is the detachment and the army I'll be running. There is 3 other Tau armies. As for how they run, there is a Kroot strong army which I have seen played and know that a friend of mine who is the store manager at my friendly local game store, Guff, here in Victoria. Had a great deal of fun with it, and last year at I believe it was Terracon, possibly went around 4-1 or 3-2. People found it very frustrating because it allowed the Kroot detachment allowed Kroot to continually come back to life. This new detachment that we're looking at is quite interesting in terms of how it provides for Tau and giving them that little bit of firepower to punch. If we look at, here we are, the detachments, technically we have 6. Carry on obviously gives sustained hits 1 and 2 for the 3rd round onwards. Montcar looks at giving assault and lethal to the 1st, 2nd and 3rd battle rounds. The Kroot hunting pack is Kroot based, is insane for Kroot, gives them a 5+ invul and a 6+ invul against melee, a 5+ invul against ranged, allows them to reroll hit rolls of 1 and wound rolls of 1. Very much let's go hunting and kill. And then obviously we have the retaliation cadre, which, anything within 12 improves our strength characteristics of an attack by 1. Anything within 9 gives us AP +1 as well. So looking at some of the AP buffs, you can head from 0 AP to 1, or if you're at 1 you go to 2, and so on, from 2 to 3, 3 to 4. So far in 10th, I've noticed that anything above AP -2, especially if you're fighting armies that have invuls, are pretty much redundant because everything gets pushed onto the invul. And once you're above a 2 and you're got an AP -2 and pushing towards something's invul, then it's pointless. Unless, of course, they can manage to take cover, then obviously that AP goes down to 1, which sometimes can be a bonus rather than a hindrance, because then rather than pushing them onto their invul, especially things with a 2-up save that have a 4-up invul, you're pushing them to 3s, reducing the amount of saves they're going to make. So hopefully that covers off on what I'm running and what I'm looking at. I guess to get more in depth into answering Mark's question, depending on the detachment you're running, especially this new detachment, breaches and strike teams are important, given the fact you get +6 inch. You are better off running the broadside battle suits rather than running the hammerhead gunship. KT-10, ranged weapons, 72 for the railgun becomes 78. You have the burst accelerator cannons on the front, unless you run the smart missile system, which indirect fire 36 or 24. It's not a huge difference. The abilities, there isn't much really that, unless you're fighting monsters and vehicles and you get +1 to your hit roll. It's not a huge deal. You can mark, I guess, obviously, and then try and do that. But they're really just, there's other things that can do more damage and have more, I guess, maneuverability and hideability. I do know that my main Tau player that I do know loves to play Riptides. Definitely worth having. Decent save, got a good invul, movement 10, T9 with 14 wounds, can have a very good range of weapons. I also believe that this would go quite well in the new detachment, considering that it gives a massive increase to some of its weapons, meaning that it can really hide in the backfield and really just protect your backfield, while also, when we look at the iron accelerator, being able to shoot at something 78 inches away with the +6 would make a massive difference. The next best thing on the list would be obviously Storm Rays. They have the ability to, let me get in there, Twin Link Seeker missile racks. You can run the smart missile systems on the front, or if you want the pulse carbines, but you're looking at 54 inch, strength 14, ballistic skill. Well, we look at ballistic skill 3 when guided, neg 3 on the AP, D6+1, twin linked, so re-rolling your, and when shooting into stuff, strength 14 is a nice number. It will hit everything on a 3, obviously, unless you decide to shoot into something that's lower than that, a speeder or a flyer or something small, rhino, predators, things that are below 10, make light work of. Into chaff, if you really just wanted to wipe a lot of chaff out, or heavy elite infantry, so terminators, aggressors, suppressors, blade guard, all strength 5, or T5, sorry, toughness 5, so wounding on 2s and doing D6+1 with 3 shots twin linked. You're going to do a fair chunk of damage into those, especially when a aggressor squad, or even like eliminators are eradicators, rather than eliminators, are 3-man, 3 wounds a pop, D6+1. You roll 2s, you 3s kill everything. You 3 shots all hit, 3 at -3. They don't exactly have a invul from memory. But yeah, you're going to chew up elite infantry very quickly. Apart from that, I guess if you're really looking to play some bigger things, I know Vespid Stingwings are new, have had new models drop, which I haven't got any yet, but I'm very keen to get. Have got some interesting weapons, again, in the detachment I'm running, would get, because they have the keyword of Tau Empire. Faction keyword, lovely down there. Would get the +6, so we're looking at 24, 24, 36, and 18, depending on how you equip them. Got 12-inch movement, T4, a little bit squishy with the 1 wound, but fly. Abilities, we're looking at airborne agility, get all over the place rather quickly, can go in and out of reserves like it's nothing. With deep strike, so again, a good secondary scoring unit. And as far as that is, I guess if you really want to go for heavy, big weapons, you could take a Storm Surge in the detachment, giving it, again, the +6 to a lot of this stuff will make a lot of weapons very long range, very dangerous, increasing a few long range of a few other things, but points costs are always a problem. So yeah, from my point of view, crisis suits are the way, backed up with by definitely a Ghost Keel. Commander Farsight has that dual profile where he can actually fight in melee, meaning that, you can get, if you get charged, you are not going to really suffer as much. As you can see there, we've got the Dawnblade, strike and sweep, either 4 attacks, hitting on 2s, strength 10, need 2, damage 3. So again, hitting into Terminators. Obviously AP2 would put them onto their 4-up, but everything they fail is 3 wounds, is damage 3, and Terminators being 3 wounds, if they don't have shields, it's just a dead Terminator straight away. The other way, obviously, you go about it is the sweep, which gives you 8 attacks, hitting on 2, strength 6, so again you would be hitting on 3s to wound, but the bonus here is you push Terminators from a 2-up save to a 3-up save, not invoking the invul, and 1 damage a pop, so if you got all 8 through, you could look at 8 damage, which would kill 2.5 Terminators, which is probably on average what you would do either way with the strike or the sweep, going off as well as it could go. Again, 4 attacks, you fail 2, or 2 fail to get through, 2 hit. As long as they save, they don't save, then yeah, you'll kill 2 Terminators. So 2 Terminators would be the average for his melee output in terms of how strong he is. Again, but the bonus is that it comes with an invul of 4+, has a normal 2, and when making, well, there we go. Way the short blade. While leading a unit, each time this model in this unit makes an attack, it targets energy within 9, add 1 to the wound roll. So that would also include melee, which may actually work again on his own ability, which is interesting, because when you read abilities that say you models in the unit, he also gets counted in that, especially when you're looking at a model, say for instance Dark Angels Azrael. He provides models in the unit with sustained hits 2 on 6s, but that actually includes him, and it does work quite well sometimes. I've had some very entertaining battles with him, especially when equipped to Blade Guard. Definitely can increase the amount of attacks that all of a sudden appear out of nowhere and do a lot of bitey damage. But anyway, I hope that answers Mark's question, and as I said at the start of the video, if you like the content that I'm posting, please hit that subscribe button, give me a like, comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.